Hello, disc golf fans, and welcome to the third and final round of the 2021 Waco Annual Charity Open presented by Prodigy Disc. We have third round front nine action, BigBarri commentary, Jeremy Koling, Paul Ulibarri.
Let's get right into the Grip 6 low profile.
And Nikko Locastro leading the action. Pair of 9 downs, he is at 18 under with a one-shot lead over the Texas Wonder Kid, Bradley Williams. Gavin Rathbun. I love you, Mom. That's excellent stuff there. 100% scramble this week. That is impressive in these woods. And Cale Leiviska trailing Nikko by 4 shots. Anything can happen. And going into hole 1, the overnight rain has washed away the wind, and we are going to have a calm day, scoring conditions at Waco at the Beast. Hole 1, 291 feet, par 3. OB left sidewalk, and there is an OB right. That Grip 6 wall is not there, but if a disc rolls down the bottom of that hill, it is also out of bounds. Have got 3 seasoned veterans on this card. Gavin Rathbun, he's been on tour for a few years as well with a couple of big wins under his belt.
Probably over 350 wins if I were to guess with these guys combined.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Nice shot. Thanks.
And Nikko with a nice park job.
Next on the tee, representing Innova Champion Disc and BradleyDiscGolf.com. Give it up for Bradley Williams.
And Bradley Williams, I read the comments overnight, and there were a few people upset that we were calling Bradley Williams the best disc golf product out of Texas. That title belongs to none other than perhaps the GOAT of women's disc golf, Paige Pierce. We should have been a little bit clearer with our words, as Bradley has taken an incredibly unfortunate roll out of bounds.
I believe if they were to listen a little closer, I said MPO. So
Let's take a look at Gavin Rathbun.
I'm Gavin Rathbun. I'm 23 years old and I'm from Oswego, Illinois. So growing up, I was a 3-sport athlete. I played football, baseball, and wrestled since about the age of 3. And it was my freshman year of high school that I dislocated my shoulder, and that pretty much put a halt to everything, and that's right around the same time I found out what disc golf was. My best friend, Ian Burchett, we both lived right on the other side of the river was Eagle Ridge Disc Golf Course in Oswego, Illinois. On the other side of the river was his house, and that was our way to school. So way before I even started playing disc golf, I would see the metal basket, I would see people out there throwing, and always had my interest, but I was always so confused what they were doing out there. Ever since I found out what disc golf tournaments really were, I've wanted to travel and play them. As soon as I found out there was a tour in 2016, it was a dream, but I never thought that the possibility was a reality. One day, Noah Meitzma and Alex Russell, Cameron Messerschmidt, and they just told me in 2019 I had to get out there. I had to start playing against all the best players in the world, and in 2020, I finally took that step forward. Coming from a background in competitive wrestling really made me be able to put my whole body into my shots. It helped with my sidearm, helped me be able to get that stillness before I putt. Everything transferred over perfectly with disc golf. All the local hometown guys have helped build my confidence this week. My rating went down for the first time in well over a year, I believe, and it really lit the fire under me for this week. Being on the lead card for a final round at a Pro Tour tournament has been a dream of mine since I started playing, and being able to be out here today and show what I have to everyone and show my skills, it's just a dream come true, and I think confidence is going to take over for me today.
How can you not root for Gavin Rathbun? He understands the nature of competitive sports, and it's awesome to see. Oh no! That is a very tough air to make, and he's going to be OP early.
Yeah, that's the one mistake you cannot make. You have to make sure you clear that. That way that you clear inbounds at some point, and he did not, so he will basically essentially have a re-tee.
Cale Leiviska. Nice high hyzer. That's going to hit left side of the hill and probably trickle down just a bit. Just a bit. Just a bit. No! The same unfortunate roll that Bradley Williams received.
You can retee it as well.
Yeah, and Gavin, like you said, he is electing to re-tee, and I think that's the wise decision. Oh my goodness.
Almost
that was,
did it again.
Okay. Wow. That was inches from a 3 and from double disaster. Good to see that that will just be a bogey, but that will drop him a couple shots more off the lead as Nikko is all but parked here. Well, I guess he still has a little bit of work left. But with the wind down, he's still kind of going with the spin putt. Curious.
You know, Nikko missed the first Pro Tour event of the season in Las Vegas. He actually had an injury where he hurt his hand, so he's coming off a pretty brutal injury that cost him one tournament. And we always see him in Vegas and the Memorial. And so, I mean, what a bounce back from an injury.
Yeah, certainly to be in this position, to be leading this event and sleeping on a lead overnight at his first event of the season is, you know, that's means that he, you know, that injury is he's shaking off all the rust. And especially missing the Memorial tournament that he won going all the way back to 2009.
It's a long time ago.
He's been at this for quite a while. I mean, the touring experience just between Bradley, Cale, and Nikko alone has got to be pushing 45, 50 years of disc golf experience. I mean, it's remarkable. Hole 2 is a par 4, 631-foot shot where you want to keep a hyzer with a distance driver. And really, without the wind, without the headwind, this hole is so much more tackable. And I think it's actually worth noting that we didn't get an opportunity even in practice to play this course in the calm. So all these shots, this is kind of a little bit of improvisation.
No, for sure. But I think there's also an element to you can take it two ways. You can be like, okay, I didn't practice it, or this is playing easier than ever, you know, especially with the wind, like sort of comfortability inside the circle, especially. You don't have to grind over those short putts.
Good drive from Nikko. Left side of the fairway is optimal. And Bradley's matching that tee shot from Nikko and maybe a little bit extra or pretty much the same. But, you know, just the disc selection alone, I mean, this has been pretty much go with your very most overstable driver every round. And now you can actually kind of disc down to a little bit more of a flip-up driver to get that little bit of extra distance and make that approach shot even shorter. And you can see Cale really putting a good move on that. That's next to Nikko's drive, even farther on the left side of the hill.
That's a beaut right there, right down the middle of the fairway. He's going to leave himself a good 150 feet into the pin.
And that's a good perspective, a good angle there. You can see how much farther past Nikko and Cale's drive Gavin threw it. He's got a ton of power. That is just too easy. That man is butter. We've got the North and South Dr. Smooths both on the same card right now. This is a battle of maybe who's smoother.
Check, check, check.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. I think both of these guys, don't. This guy actually right here might land the disc a bit softer than both of them from a certain distance. I mean, these guys hit the smallest gaps backhand and land, between Bradley and Nikko, their disc moved about maybe a foot.
It is pretty interesting to see that on this course, which we've kind of in the past attributed as being forehand friendly in many ways once you get into the woods, that we have 3 very predominant backhand players with Cale, Bradley, and Nikko. And Gavin does have a little bit more of the 2-style game as he is off right side on his birdie putt. Definitely needed to see that one fall after the mishap on hole 1. Ooh, Cale dancing over the rim, and that'll be a birdie.
Cale makes good work inside the circle, last year being the number 2 best putter in the circle.
No kidding. I'm not surprised by that. But it's a slightly unorthodox style of putting. You don't really see anyone else with his style of putting, or really Nikko for that matter. Both of them have a quite unique putting style. And Nikko off to a good start with the birdie. On to hole 3. Par 3, 320 feet, up 1 shelf, up to an elevated basket. Just a few trees to contend with early here. That squirrel's contending with that tree. That squirrel's contending with the tree on the left. And you want to basically break. Most of these guys are going to go this right side with maybe a slightly Anheuser release with an overstable driver to hit the top of that hillside and try to skip over to the basket off to the left. This shot shape really fits Nikko's strength. We saw him do it in round 2.
Yep.
And he's done very well here in round 3.
Yeah, I feel like somebody who doesn't throw a flex shot, this gets a bit trickier because you want to throw a hyzer flip, but if you throw a hyzer flip and you don't force it over like Bradley and Nikko both did, what ends up happening is you go deep. Correct. And so fairway driver, you really want to punch it, that way it doesn't go early. And so the flex shot is, I would say, the best play. See what I mean? If you don't get it flat, this one will go way left, and it kind of leaves you on that hill. That was a nice little dig, but still 40 feet.
Catching that dirt was crucial. If that hits grass, after that rain we got last night, the grass seemed to be a bit slicker. The skip seemed to be a little bit more punishing. We saw that on 1 with Brad and Cale both catching that pro backspin and not sitting, rolling all the way OB. Gavin going the super wide, all hyzer route. Oh, wow. And that's a donation to charity. That's awesome. So if a player hits that box in the air, I think this is going to be an all-season thing on live coverage. Edge Foundation. Yeah, Gavin just called it.
Nice, Gav.
That's $100.
He has always been kind of a charitable man, hasn't he?
I don't know. I'll take your word for it.
I don't know either, but I feel like after seeing that shot, he's such a charitable man.
He's already donated $100 to charity.
Not even trying, just trying to birdie, but instead rockets right into the thing.
Cale over the top, but sitting close.
I like that though, showing some aggression early.
Let's see if Gavin can shake the rust off and collect the birdie after that great drive.
Oh, you don't have to hit the target twice for charity.
Got him by 5 shots early on. I mean, this guy's not going to be giving strokes back, and certainly not putting and driving like that. That is 3 straight right off the bat for Nikko.
I've noticed something. The last 2 rounds, Nikko has been switching to the spin putt inside about 25 feet. And I think that's because he's, struggled in the past with that up and down putt from short. And so now I feel like he's got a lot of confidence with that little short stroke, keep it the basket height, Open your hand kind of right there at the pole.
And Bradley will tap in for his par.
I'm Paul Ulibarri with today's Bushnell hole breakdown. Use the link in the description to pick up the Sport 850 rangefinder for yourself. Hole 4 is one of the trickiest par 4s at the Beast. Measuring in at 441 feet, this par 4 might look innocent, but as soon as you let your guard down, bogeys happen and happen a lot. Hit this tiny landing zone and everything should work itself out. Let's see how it plays out.
I don't know what that little dancing 150 meter is doing there. We're not going to see any drives that far. If we did, it would be the best thing we've seen yet. Nikko knows what he needs to do, and he does avoid. That is
About 150 feet from the pin.
no. It needs to be about 40 feet past that dang tree in the middle to be 150 feet from the pin.
Well, we'll see what kind of shot he has from there.
We'll just have to see how it plays out. Brad, a bit too much speed. That is going to be in par at best range. Don't think he's going to be able to manage any sort of birdie look.
Cale's throwing a watermelon.
Nice go.
And let's see if that melon skips forward, and it does. That's a great tee shot from Cale.
Early.
Gavin just really experiencing some early nerves. And I mean, when you're playing with that much experience, that many titles on one card, and you've been in right there at either in the lead or right next to the lead this whole time, it can wear on a young fella. And just hope to see him throw a good shot here and try to save that par.
Come on, Kev. Oh, baby. That's a little spicy, though.
That was
Green flag.
awesome. That was an awesome shot, and so important to do that right then. Brad trying to get very technical, but look at this flick roller. That is so cool.
Yeah, that looked like at one point it was going the other way. It was coming so straight at us.
Great touch, great angle, great disc selection, fantastic execution, and he's still got work to do.
Oh, your boy.
Oh, your boy, he says. That's so good. Like, oh, standstill approach from Nikko must be well within 200 feet.
Skid a lot. Skid a lot.
Yeah. Probably about 150 feet away.
Okay,
from the
maybe
pin.
his drive landed 150 away, but that little dancing ticker was way past where Nikko's drive landed. Let's just be honest.
It looked like it's at 150 feet, and I'm telling you, I've seen these Bushnells, and they do not lie. And there's a boat that rips past Gavin.
And that right there could be the momentum shift that Gavin needs to save that par. He was staring at a big number and came up with a huge shot at the right time. Cale high and in.
Gavin saved his score.
Beautiful birdie. Made it look really easy. Good drive, good upshot, good putt.
That's what this hole is. I mean, if you throw a great drive, this hole just doesn't seem like it's that hard. Just try throwing a bad drive and escaping with a par, though.
Here's the thing with Nikko. Over the last few years, and I know that we all like to, that's our job, talk about what he's doing good, what he's doing not so good. He hasn't been so good inside the circle, close range. Grinds over it a lot,
Yeah.
definitely in his head. And now that he's able to tap these in, he's not giving away these easy strokes. And this is a 4-time player of the year.
Problematic.
He is a #1 ranked player in the world for, I think, like a 4-year stretch or something. This guy is nasty.
If you snooze on the lead and you wake up and your first 4 holes are birdie, 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 you came to play. This dude is out here to prove a point, and you're right, man. He's making these putts. Hole 5, we've got the double shelf par 3, 264 feet. Gonna want to just drive a fairway driver, maybe a hard thrown mid-range to the top of that hill and just get a little bit of scoot. And Nikko is just not missing a beat right now. He is throwing dimes. He is beating the card by 4. No one is even really showing that they have anything to compete with him right now. Something's going to have to happen for this drama to increase throughout the rest of this round. Oh, Brad using the entire fairway, but man, honestly, not the worst result for hitting a little bit of that early branch on the left side
caught
of the
the
fairway.
perfect little dead spot in the grass to kind of just slide right up there. Give him a little chance. Gavin really needs a bird. Miss it. Keep going.
And now sit. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm up there on the circle. So Brad will be first from about 45 feet or so, maybe a bit inside that.
We're going to be like a lost place.
And Gavin with that nerve testing 25-footer, and that is high. Just needs to take a deep breath.
Get in there.
Even Nikko's misses are going in right now.
Enough of those fallout.
You just touched on that. That's so perfect.
Give me that. 2 misses, 2 makes. Move on to the next hole. Nikko 5 for 5. Cale 3 out of 5. When I'm stepping up to a hole, I visualize everything. What's the wind, the water, the trees? What disc am I going to choose? What's the distance? Okay, 425. I'm going with the ESP nuke. Knowing the distance is pretty much the most important thing. I feel like it's going to revolutionize how good people get. I am Paul Ulibarri. Working together with Bushnell, we can push the game to a whole new level.
So the birdie onslaught continues for Nikko. On to hole 6, par 3, 267-foot backhand anhyzer, perhaps a forehand hyzer down the hill. Another double shelf hill, but this time we're going downhill.
See how Nikko was able to keep his nerves calm. I mean, that last putt was a little bit shaky, and he knows what he's doing at this point. He knows he's gaining a lead, and this is a pretty nervy backhand shot. If he can get his body around and commit, and he does, this looks great.
Yeah, I don't think he's not showing any signs of nerves. I mean, there's nothing about, he's the most familiar person for winning tour events on this card. No one else on this card has won a major championship. Nikko's won a major championship. He's actually won 2.
And he's won recently on the tour.
That's right. He's actually won at the person who just threw the course that he designed. So there is already a little bit of a relationship with Cale and Nikko.
Cale left himself pretty high on that ridge, but it looked like it might have snuck into circle 2, which is honestly totally doable. That's a bad kick there from Bradley. That's not doable really from over there. But when you're on top of that hill, something frames up that basket. I mean, we saw Simon make that a few years back. And
We saw him make it a few years back, and then even more years back, the same putt essentially. Something about a bad start out in the open really seems to translate into these wood lines. It just seems like the lines just get a bit tighter. Maybe the basket gets a bit smaller. There's no person on the course that needs a birdie sooner than Gavin Rathbun right now.
good little up and down, though. Don't need to make it worse.
And again, that can be a confidence builder. Just one good shot. I mean, it's really sometimes all you need. I was a bit concerned with the way that Nikko made that last putt. Sometimes when you make a putt but you only barely rattle it in, it can actually shake your confidence. And it didn't seem like that really affected Nikko at all. And if Cale doesn't make this putt. Okay, never mind. Never mind. Wow.
That was long.
Was that outside circle too?
Yeah, right by his foot, you could see the blue feather. This thing is a nice catch, though.
Oh.
Give me that.
That is so clutch. And don't look now, Cale Leiviska. He's 4 down through 6 holes, and he's pumped as well he should be.
Puts a little pressure here. I mean, just a little. He got the, you know, excitement and everything.
This is to take his 5-stroke lead into 6 strokes. I mean, yes, of course, there's a little bit of pressure, but Nikko is controlling the pace of this card, and that one was as true as it could be putted. This man is comfortable.
Yeah, he might just birdie every hole, I guess.
Do you think Nikko could wear a non-snapback hat with that hair? Is that possible? That was a dumb question. It's not possible. That is a... I'm sorry. I have to throw one of those per round. Okay, hole 7, par 4, 429 feet. Players are going to want to get a drive just out the chute. It feels very tight, low ceiling, very important to just make the initial gap. Get out to this field. It doesn't have to be all the way down this field. Anywhere in the field will do. Set you up for a pretty wide open approach through this gap here. But if you're off a little bit, saving the par or getting a birdie is just almost out of the equation.
Money.
Nice shot, Nick.
This man's on a mission.
Cale and Nikko have had many of battles before. Also, Bradley Williams went on tour for a bit with Nikko Locastro, and I remember them playing in some nice close matches over the years, so they're all familiar. Gavin just seems a little bit out of his element here on this card.
Yep. Cale giving a wry smile as he knows that he went through the inside line. He missed his gap by quite a bit, was not punished for it. Not something that you rarely ever see on this hole. And Brad, that's a fortunate kick. He's going to be far away, but if that kick's right, he's out of birdie equation.
There we go, Gavin.
Yep.
Good shot, guy.
That's maybe a little bit too far to the left to throw a backhand approach. He'll probably throw a forehand Anheuser.
This could go in, I guess.
That's too good.
Yeah. It really doesn't matter how far you are past. He's saying it rolled. I don't know. It looked pretty good.
I just want everybody to watch how soft these land. I'm guessing he's going to land it soft.
Sit. Oh, no.
Yeah, maybe not the prime example for this hole because it is that upslope and they can drive it into that hole. But in general, you're absolutely right. When they do, like, hole 6 is going to be a great example in the next hole. The way that they're landing it is super duper delicate.
I think my example is none of them are outside of 4 feet.
He was dialed today.
You win, Paul.
Maybe Bradley rolled. Should have had more touch.
That's a great shot from Gavin. He will be getting on the board and moving to even par for the round. Brad stayed close. I mean, really can't throw a putter better from...
Well, just quit driving it into the hill so hard. Ugh.
Thanks, man.
Woosah.
Couple birds.
We're going to have a star frame.
Well, no spoilers.
If Nikko doesn't tumble down the hill while holding the disc in his hand and misreleasing it. Oh, nope, there's a star frame. Nikko stayed upright. He's birdied the first 7, folks. That will be a charitable donation to edgediscgolf.org. On to hole 8, par 3, 215-foot, narrow tunnel, low ceiling, slopey green. Love this hole. It challenges the best players in the world. It challenges somebody who just picked up a disc last week on the shelf. Anyone can birdie this hole. Anyone can bogey it.
And not everybody can par it.
Correct.
Skip right.
Asking for a skip right, and he just kind of went straight. And
Okay, he needs to calm down now.
yeah, this is certifiable fire emoji stuff right now. He has not missed a tee. Every shot has been true.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, that's that smooth,
So
buttery touch.
soft. They're right in the same spot. Bradley, come on.
Let's see if Bradley uses the same amount of the fairway here.
Ugh.
Yeah, that just isn't going to go anywhere.
Look
but
at these
perfect.
guys.
It's so good. A few years back, Bradley was practicing with Uli and I on this hole, and he said, this hole's too easy. I'm going to go down the right side, backside gap, skip ace. And then he did. He literally threw right side, backside, and then skipped it into the basket.
Poor Gavin. He's like, I'm going to try it sidearm now. After the
I
softest
know.
shots ever.
I mean,
It really gets in your head to where you
Sure.
kind of feel inadequate, you know, like playing with that grade of throws. It can get in your head, and it's tough to kind of stick to your own game and be like,
I mean, let's be honest. These are 3 of the top 10, 15 technical geniuses of the modern time. I mean, and they're veterans, and they're in the element. Like, you know, sometimes you just have to tip your hat to great disc golf. Nikko. There's a blemish on the scorecard, and it's most likely a par. And I mean, the card's got to be ecstatic to see a little chink in the armor. Cale with the open door to try to get it a bit closer.
Good breakout.
Now it'll just be a 5-shot
Oh.
deficit unless, well, Nikko continued going down the hill. This
oh, it's
Yeah.
right. It's right there.
not that far away, but taking his time. And, oh my gosh, off the band and in, his putter did not abandon him.
No, it did not. That was a good touch. Hits the top, goes right in. He'll get out of there.
Good say again.
A little dicey putting there for Nikko Castro. He's maybe had 2 putts that could have not fallen in, and
Gavin's like, I finally tied him on a hole.
yeah, I mean, you got to pick your battles at a certain point. I mean, right now he's down 8, and there's only 10 holes left in this event, and at this point, you know, you hate to take your mind off of I'm trying to win, but at a certain point, you might just try to say to yourself, like, this is an entire season event. You're trying to just play for points at every event, make the next shot count the most, and just try to get the best finish you possibly can. On to hole 9, par 4, 519 feet. Drive, you want to throw a fairway driver or, yeah, it's got to be a fairway driver. Down to the bottom of this hill. Set yourself up for the backhand Anheuser to forehand approach.
Uh-oh.
Cale going right side, kicking
I got one.
to the right and then back down.
I've never got through clean.
Yeah, hits those middle trees. You really got to make a decision whether you want to go left side or right side. Aiming at those middle trees can really get you into trouble, especially with how accurate these guys are. So they are picking a spot. Most likely that right side is the biggest gap.
Bradley Williams
And there's that right side gap.
just needs to get a little bit of stability at the end and just kind of stays there in the middle. Not the birdie result, but he's in a pretty good position to save that very difficult par. This is the second most difficult hole on the course. Nikko low and in the middle, just like he said.
Gavin's gonna. I feel like this is gonna come out with a little more heat than the rest of these guys. They are, like you said, technicians, very soft throws. This will get there in a hurry.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
committed.
Oh, wow. That's great. That's exactly what you're looking for. It's so difficult to do that. This hole really truly shows that it is right in between that perfect par 4 and that perfect par 5. The 4.52 average really tells you everything. It's about the hardest par 4 you'll ever play, and not that difficult of a par 5. Nikko with a really great forehand approach, shot right into the mouth. From there, he'll have about 80 feet. And Cale, his follow through required a couple extra steps over to the right, making sure that he avoided all the trees, and that's going to be in a good place.
Watch how the elbow goes first, then he clears with the hand, and then just buttery soft.
He can make an 84-foot full throw seem cool.
Really beautiful.
I just loved watching Brad throw. Yeah, okay. And Gavin, that's going to be, it's going to test him. Yeah, he's missed a couple from that range so far, but that would be just a delightful birdie to pick up.
This needs to get lucky. And it does.
Okay, and Brad will have similar range putt for his bar.
So those trees on the right with the sidearm, it's really hard to follow through all the way because then you juice it deep. And so when you early release it, you have to take on those trees, and that's the lucky stuff.
Nice.
This was just thrown perfectly.
Yep, that little root. Actually, Cale had the same exact reaction I had, but I hit the same root that he had hit today. And
Let's see if Nikko is able to slow the arm speed down, use the wrist. No, that's early. Money.
oh yeah, that's great. And yeah, this green does just slope away from the basket. So once you do get over the hill, it just does nothing but goes farther and farther from the pin. So difficult to have great touch. Gavin, that's what he needed right there, folks. That is very, very seldom birdied hole. Only 10% of the field.
And he gets to 1 under par.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a nice little start. Birdie, par, birdie to finish this front 9. It keeps him kind of in that, top 4 podium finish mark.
I mean, it's definitely too early to say that he can't come back in this. It's just, ooh, as Brad dances that one in there, he's disgusted. That's about the 3rd time I think we've seen him disgustedly take out his made putt, but it's a made putt. I mean, we're certainly not crowning any champions after the front 9. There are 9 very important holes left to play, but Nikko, 7 consecutive birdies to open up this front 9, absolutely playing the exact way he needed to play. And 5 shots over Cale Leiviska, 5 shots over Bradley Williams, and Ricky Wysocki has jumped up into that 4th place position currently with 9 holes left to play. Gavin Rathbun still, after the excellent play in the first 2 rounds, he is right there in 5th place. But man, we have got 9 more holes to go here in Waco, Texas. Paul, can't wait to bring it to everyone else.
Let's get it.
Thank you to the Founders Club. Catch you soon.